A really disappointing night for us overall, and reality is for the guys we had out there. I think we only had one change from where we were here 2 weeks ago against Richmond and played really well, and just very disappointing night and clearly not at the level. And credit to Collingwood, they were too good.
At one stage during the third quarter, we saw Betts, Sloane and Walker all on the bench at the one stage. Was that sort of just coincidental, or was that an issue going to be?
No, just coincidental. Yeah.
What did he put it down to, Don? Sort of slipping away straight away with a contested ball.
Yeah.
And you knew they had a really good midfield, but was it almost like impossible to turn it around from?
No, it wasn't impossible. We sort of felt like, even at half-time, we felt the game was still there for us. But the reality is we never got ourselves fully in the game from a contested view. We had a little burst in the third quarter. We kicked a couple of goals, but it was all three phases for us. It starts in the contest, and we were badly beaten in that area all night and early. I thought their pressure early was very good and didn't look like we handled it as well as we have in the past. So our ball use sort of suffered, and then our ability to defend the ball was off as well. So when you're offering all three phases, makes it very hard.
Is that anything to do with Brody Grundy's dominance around the ground tonight?
Oh, he had a fantastic game. It was one of the better games I've seen from a ruckman. I thought he was outstanding, and not only his ruck work, but his round the ground stuff. I think he ended up with 14 hardball gets and he had 12 clearances. So that was a very, very good game from Brody tonight.
We had a running stat, Don, that showed I think the Pies had run up 10 kilometres further as a collective team late in the second quarter. Was there a running issue with respect to the way you guys were pressing back and so forth?
Oh, you could see that we were getting outnumbered at contest. So that number doesn't totally surprise me. I thought our work rate was down. As I said, we were here 2 weeks ago and played really strongly against Richmond, and it was one of the strengths of our game. So we had a really bad night.
You had 5 tall forwards over 190 centimetres. Did that balance was off, given it's a wet night and weren't able to sort of lock the ball in your forward 50?
Yeah, we had some choices at selection, and that's the way we chose to go. I think it's one piece of the jigsaw. I think there's a lot of other areas which probably were more influential on the result of the game than how we went down forward. But that's something we'll look at.
Was it hard though? Was it hard though, given your Sandford guys played on Sunday, so only had a 5-day turnaround, so Fogarty might have only been the only player you could sort of bring in? No,
we'd sort of looked at that and planned ahead for the 5-day turn from our Sandford game and felt that we managed some minutes for guys last week so they'd be available for selection and for tonight's game. But we just felt Fogarty was going to be, give us a better alternative than those other players.
Rory was double-teamed basically by Asian Sidebottom at times during the first half. How did you guys combat that? And is he sore, for want of a better word? He looked a bit off tonight, Rory.
Yeah, look, Rory, he had a little bit of a foot coming out of the Richmond game, which he's had for a couple of weeks, and that's progressively getting better. But he was part of a midfield that got badly beaten tonight. That's the reality. He's one piece again of that midfield group, and did he have the influence he would have liked? No, but he had a few mates.
Is Tex sort of managing his plantar fascia injury? I know he wouldn't make an excuse for his performance.
No, his plantar fascia is fine. I mean, for Tex, it's he's come off a very limited pre-season, and so we've been sort of managing him between games as well as in games as best we can, and he'll get there. Tonight was one of his better nights, but as I said, if I went around the change rooms now, I wouldn't find too many guys who are putting their hand up to say I played to the level I really want to, and the level is expected of me, and played my role to how we need to get a result. And we're like every team out there. We need to win our share in the contest, and we need to have an even contribution. And when you don't get that, again, taking nothing away from Collingwood, but that's why we end up sitting here really disappointed in how we went about and how we played tonight.
What about Eddie Betts? Just how serious is that hamstring injury?
Well, from what I've been told from the docs, it's just precautionary. He's got he just felt a bit of tightness, so there was no real point risking him, and not that they were keen to risk him. So they just iced that up, and we'll get that assessed during the week.
Exempted on a night like tonight to swing big changes. I said, I've got to do something. Maybe move Laird into the midfield. Get Sloane away from the midfield because Sidebottom's going well. And
we did a few things. When Laird went into the midfield for a period, we had we had some other structural changes that we made. But they're sort of putting a bit of a you're putting a finger in the dam to some degree. You're trying to plug holes, but we weren't able to get control of the game for long enough. In terms of when we did win it, we turned it over, which was very unlike us. I thought our execution of our skills tonight was, at times, was almost as bad as I've seen, and that just meant we gave the ball back to Collingwood when we did win it. So, we tried a few things, but ultimately nothing worked on the night, and it was That was a poor night.
I realise it's a broad topic, Don, but there's been some more questioning, I guess, in respect of some aspects of the on-field leadership tonight by some commentators. Is that fair, speaking to that?
In what respect, sorry?
Well, I think there was an incident involving Walker early in the match where he might have, there's some vision that shows he perhaps wasn't looking at the ball as long as he perhaps should have been, and that's obviously attracted some scrutiny.
Oh, okay, well, I wasn't aware of that. And again, if we talk across our whole group, we could sit and talk about our midfield group, our backs, our forwards, our leaders. We're disappointed with how we played tonight, and we own that. And that's our challenge, is to now train this week, get back to review that game and train on and get ready for Sydney next Friday night. And we'll take what we need to learn from it.
David McKay and Mitch McGovern copped a couple of hits. Mitch come back on. How are they feeling at the minute?
From what I can gather, Mitch is fine. David, I haven't heard anything at this point whether he's suffering at all.
Was it a concussion to David?
I'm not sure. Did he go into the... No, he just had a head knock.
Okay, because he had a concussion, I think, in round 2.
Yeah, he did. He did against Richmond. So look, they'll deal with that and assess that as they need to. If there's an issue, I don't know if there's an issue. I'm sorry, I can't shed any more light on it.
Yeah, and just finally, Riley Knight and Curtly Hampton playing Sandford tomorrow. Chance to come in next week.
Well, look, an opportunity for those guys tomorrow. Clearly, when the side performs like we did tonight, we're keen to get those guys up and going and get them to get pressure on for spots and look forward to how they perform tomorrow.